Mm. So I'm thinking of going research. Sorry, I'm doing research on moral suasion and sustainable AI by taking students classroom experiment. Can you suggest me how to do it? So your proposed study examines whether moral suasion promotes sustainable. Okay. And moral suasion theory rooted behavioral economic psychology norm activation theory. So I have to use the moral suasion theory is there. I have to check whether this moral suasion theory is there or whether just it is creating. I'll just cross verify using Google. Moral suasion theory. Moral suasion is, yeah, it is there. Is a non-coercive qualitative monetary policy tool where central banks, okay. um, Moral suasion. In central bank, it use, you know that monetary policy, in monetary policy it is a qualitative techniques. We have quantitative and qualitative technique. Under that, a moral suasion word used. And norm activation theory, this is, I think this is more close to my study theory. Norm activation theory, here behavior changes when personal norms are activated via awareness. Okay, so that means we have to give awareness to students about how, what is the drawbacks or limitations of AI use to the environment or the society. Okay, okay. Do define, say here they define sustainable AI use intentions. But look at design type, randomized controlled classroom experiment. Okay, size, effect size. So they are telling between subject design three groups, approximately 159 to 180 participant required. They are telling, ChatGPT telling like there should be one control group, okay, and one informational treatment, and one is moral suasion treatment. Okay, they are telling in three groups: moral framing and harm based appeal. Example, manipulation. I'll ask whether there is a gap exist or not. This is the main thing we have to do here. Uh, Gen AI use cases, identify gaps in the current research. Okay, I'll write identify the gaps in this area. Okay. Theoretical gaps. So you know that there are different types of gap. There will be theoretical gap, there will be methodological gap, and there will be empirical gap. Okay, what is the, whether there is a theoretical gap, lack of integration between moral suasion and AI use. Okay, there is no study have done about moral suasion and AI, integration of moral suasion and AI use. So no identified framework linking moral norm activation theory or moral identity theory to AI consumption behavior. Okay. So that means we are adding something new to the theory. Which theory? Norm activation theory. So we are linking norm activation theory to a consumption behavior. Okay. This is something new. We can check, we can cross verify whether it is true or not. How we can use Google Scholar, norm sorry, norm activation theory within inverted comma. We need and norm activation theory and a consumption. First, we'll look for in title. So there is no study, did not match any article which has both norm activation theory and AA consumption. We'll look in general. Title is not there. In general, we'll look. Again, there is no study which discussed both norm activation theory and AA consumption. Okay, I'll make it a simple AA. Ah, so there are norm activation theory, discussed norm activation theory and AA. Okay. So these are the studies are there, but a consumption by the individual level and norm activation theory is not there. So we are going to discuss and under theorize sustainable AI use at the individual level. That what I said. At the corporate level, there may be a study about the sustainable AI, but at the individual level, I think I feel there is less study because I'm following articles related to AI. So I have done some research on AI. So therefore, I know that sustainable AI is there are many study has done at corporate level, at governance level, but at individual level, there is less study. And absence of validated construct for individual level sustainable behavior, very important. So there is no scale to measure the individual level sustainable AI behavior. So along with the theory, we are adding theory and we are developing scale or measurement scale to measure the individual level sustainable behavior. So that is completely adding new to the existing theories. And weak mediation model, many behavior study test direct effect of moral message. Yes, here I'm adding one mediation, that is responsibility or moral responsibility. Okay, moral perceived moral responsibility. So I'm adding a mediation variable. Okay, boundary conditions. So gap exists. It is not completely over researched area. It is under researched area, less researched area. Okay, some research has done on AI and sustainable, sorry, AI and yeah, AI consumption and normal activation theory, but not full. And methodological gap, over reliance on cross-sectional surveys. So in the previous literature, they have completely depend on the survey or questionnaire. I'm not doing the questionnaire. I'm doing here experimental design. So that is completely new in methodological. So over reliance on cross-sectional survey, all AI ethic research is predominantly survey based or causal inference is limited. Means experimental design is limited. A lack of randomized controlled experiment testing ethical message effects on actual areas. So there is less study has done. Then behavioral measures case, so rather than observed AI usage behavior. Okay, most studies measures intention or perception. Perception they have studied, but not observed AI usage behavior. Okay, that means I should measure the AI usage behavior by not by giving questionnaire, by using task or activities. Okay, so actually this was my plan. I am measuring the usage behavior by giving the task. Okay, so therefore observed behavior rather than perceived or intention. Then short-term measurement, behavioral ethics, experiment typically measure immediate post-treatment effects. Okay. Post-treatment effect. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Still no longitudinal evidence. Longitudinal research is not done. Again, I'm also doing short term. But if you are planning, you can do longitudinal, research, long term research or a longitudinal evidence required. Then social desirability bias will be eliminated. Then contextual gap, student population and generative AI. How this will be more significant because students are heavy AI users, so that is perfect. And emerging technology moral fatigue. So yeah, I think there is a lot of gap exist. Moral licensing effect. Look at here, digital moral development, high potential research positioning for you. You are strong at, so it gives the title also. You can look at the title, experimental causal evidence on how moral norm activation influence actual sustainable AI usage behavior among students, including mediation and moderate mechanism. Okay. So this is the way you can identify the gap. Actually, you can write research gap also. For example, write research gap in a paragraph. You can show this into your proposal in your research proposal. If you are planning to write research proposal, you can write this. What is the research gap? Despite the rapid growth of sustainable literature remains fragmented and largely normative with limited recent study predominantly focus on government's policy. Okay, these are the all what already done existing AA. Okay. Furthermore, here, there is no standardized construct or validate scale capture sustainable AAUs at the individual level or nor robust mediation models explaining how moral norm activation translate into responsible AA behavior, moderating factors such as illiteracy and consequently clear gap for yes. So this is the perfect gap, research gap you can add. I'm not directly taking this because I have done a lot of work for this particular paper. I have completely changed from the initial output. This is just initial output. I'll do a lot of trial and error. Okay. I'm not satisfied with this particular output. Okay. What you have to do? You have to do a lot of trial and error. You have to add more variables. You have to make this, for example, I'm planning to take 5 groups. Okay. One is environmental, environmental informed. Okay. Second one, social informed. I'm just shortly written, socially informed. Then economical or government. Fourth one, socially environmental. Okay. Control group and integrated groups, environmental, social, economical, and government. Yeah. Then integrated. Integrated. And the fifth one, control. You proposed 5 group design conceptually. So like this, you have to use for this again. Even whatever AI tools will not replace the reading. So you have to read as much as articles related to your topic. Then you will get which is best. Otherwise, some people will stop here only from the first output. Okay, when if you are much aware of your topic, when you are depth in your content, then you will not be satisfied with the initial output. You will do trial and error, and you'll finalize the topic. Okay. So look at it directly given the hypothesis. Environment framing will increase the environment responsible AI choices. Okay. We'll see that whether we can take those topic or not, hypothesis or not. Okay. And again, it suggests which statistical tools you have to use. One way, ANOVA or ANCOVA. If you have, yes, I'm planning to, I have included controlling variable also. Okay, I'll show that my work, sustainable AI. Okay. So this is the final topic. I have selected promoting sustainable AI through moral solution, evidence from multi-group experiment. Okay. Main effect moral solution, differential effect moral solution, integrated. Okay. So I'm doing not finalized. I'm doing the research. So this is, and it will give you an idea whether you can do it or not. Okay. So once you identify the gaps in your current research, then identify relevant literature. So in ChatGPT or in Perplexity also, you can use Perplexity also, you can ChatGPT also. Like for example, you can ask, you can, for this purpose, there is more options are available. When you are looking for the literature, go for deep research. Okay. There is an option called deep research. Select deep research mode to identify the literature. When you select deep research, it will search very deep in the web. Okay. But it will take time for deep research mode. I think it will take 2 to 3 minutes. So just I'll identify most relevant literature for this topic published in the last 5 years. Top journals. Or instead of top journals, you can mention Scopus indexed journals. You should understand the limitations of this. It will not access the closed access articles. It will access only open access article. So that is the limitation. So I'm prompt identify most relevant literature for this topic published in the last 5 years. Scopus index journal. So you can look at here. It given the articles, 10 most articles. You can ask 10 more. You can ask like I'll 10 more. Okay, 10 more. It will search. See, nowadays it will give the link also. Earlier, fake. Now, even now, ChatGPT improved lot. Now, the fake reference citation is reduced comparatively initial stage of ChatGPT. Okay. You can see this study. You can link this and you can go to that paper. You can download this paper. I have already downloaded this paper. Okay. Look at here. This is open access. Download PDF. Then and Scopus indexed MDPI publishers. And this is a Science Direct elsewhere. Okay. This is closed access. Okay. To identify the literature, there is no issue. But to get the information, it will not read the entire paper. It just read the title, which is accessible to everyone. The title and abstract will be accessible to everyone, even in the closed access. I have access to the owners, so I can download this article using One Nation, One Subscription. Okay. So like this, you can download these papers. And students' behavioral intention to use content generated Spring Gel. Yeah, this is, I think, most relevant, and we can download PDF. You can read these 10 papers or 20 papers, you will get an idea. No need to download all 100 articles, because most relevant 20 papers published in the Scopus in the last 5 years. That is enough to understand the context and to understand the depth of the your area. So I think all genuine papers with the sources provided, you can see here. I don't think there is any on this one. Yeah, this is not article research paper. You can mention that also in your prompt. If you want only research paper, please say that research paper only. This is the blog, okay, and website. If it more relevant for your paper, then you can definitely can take. Then 10 more. I asked 10 more. This is the scale, I think. Developing and validating artificial ethical awareness scale. Yes. Universal cultivating ethical awareness through. Yes. This I can download, and I can use this particular paper for preparing questionnaires. If you are doing the questionnaire survey based study, you can use these items mentioned in this particular study. For example, at the end, they will give the items. Deep cleaning. Yes. Okay, these are the items. You can look at here. These are the items you can directly copy and paste, and you can use it in your study if you are measuring ethical ethical AI awareness. Okay. Yes. This is this is how we can use Gen AI for identify relevant literature. And this one, and again in Google Scholar also there is AI tool is there, that is lab. Okay, if you go to Google Scholar, then there is a lab option is there, labs. Here also you can search your research question, and for example, moral suasion, and sustainable AI. Sustainable AI. So this is completely genuine articles you will get. So it will do search and will find most relevant article for your research. You can download from the directly from the Google Scholar. Here the advantage is you get both closed access and open access articles. Both closed and open access article. Can see this. This is Google Scholar AI. Next, summarize or analyze existing literature. Like for example, paste 15 to 20 abstract can you have already downloaded and more also is. For this purpose, what you can, one thing you can download and upload your article. There is an option called add photos and files. Okay, add photos and files. You can add papers. For example, I'll add one paper for reading purpose. Like this, you can upload at a time 20 papers you can upload for ChatGPT. Okay. Explain this paper. Explain. Explain this paper in simple words. So again, instead of reading like this, reading entire paper is good habit, because there is a concept called shallow learning. Shallow learning means if you use generative AI for learning purpose or reading purpose, you will not get the depth of the that particular paper. You will just get the shallow or brief about the study. Okay, not the main research article, but okay, correction notice to the original paper title. Okay, fine, fine. In simple, the author found mistakes in the bibliography. Oh, okay. I'll add one more article. Explain this paper. You can see here. This paper, digital not just environment concerns behavior. What is the main problem? Uh, what is the digital nudges? So explained. What theory does the paper use? Technology they used. So these are the some summary it will give. Very detailed summary it will give because of the customization it gives very detailed. What are the hypotheses in this paper? Okay, what are the hypotheses in this paper? So they used, these are the hypotheses: mediation hypothesis, moderation hypothesis. What are the variables? What are the variables? Independent variables. What are the independent variable? Personalized level, timing of nudges, nudge trying framing, mediating variable, perceived useful now nudges, moderating variable, environmental concern. So here environmental concern used as a moderating variable. In my study, I'm going to use environmental concern as a mediating variable. Okay, dependent variable, sustainable purchase intention, sustainable purchase behavior. So this is marketing. Okay, this is marketing topic. So like this, you can use generative AI for summarizing the article or reading the article, identifying the variables, then identifying the hypothesis, which test they have used, and you can ask why this particular test used, and what are their conclusion. So normally in the beginning, what you have to do, literature review for a researcher, for early researcher or PhD scholar, you have to use Excel. In Excel, you have to write. Okay, in Excel, you have to use all the articles, like article author, article title, abstract, methodology, and all those. So for that purpose also you can, there is one more tool called uh, uh, notebook, notebook LM. Okay, what you have to do, first thing you have to add sources or upload articles. Okay, like here you click add sources, it will appear like this. Okay, here you can search using a web, or you can upload files, you can upload websites, YouTube videos, you can upload from drives, you can directly copy text. So once you download, for example, I'll just for the example, I'll upload one article. Mm, download. Yeah. So it is added to the library. Now, whatever question I'll ask, the answer will be from these sources, uploaded articles. So totally, I have uploaded here. You can how many sources uploaded? 269 sources are there. Okay, means 269 articles are there here in the library related to my topic. Now I can ask any questions. Like for example, make literature. Sorry, make a table of make a table of systematic literature review, which includes author, then um, what else required? Author, variables, and relevance, methodology. Just for the example, whatever the table you can create, methodology, gaps. Okay. So it check all the material you have uploaded and the sources. Some repetitions are there, but still, I think 100 or 150 papers are there. So it will take time. See, and a very important and interesting aspect of notebook LM, there is no fake. Everything is real because these articles you can look at here. Which is article? This article exists. What are the variables? Relevance. How this particular article relevant to my study? And methodology. Which methodology they have used? And identified gap and future direction. Look it here. Normally in systematic literature review paper we have to create or in even in empirical paper we have to create this table. Look it here. Uh, create 15 articles. Okay. Normally, in your paper, no, they will either 15 or 20 papers, maximum 15. Most relevant 15 papers. They will show in paper, which discussed about that. In literature review, we have to copy and paste this table, or you can rewrite it. So this way, you can write, you can use identify literature gap, literature. Okay. Then identify potential collaborators. Okay. You can identify the collaborative if you are wanted. For example, recently I used because I have been selected for one special issue of uh, a publication that is Indian knowledge system. So I wanted some authors who can contribute to for that special issue. So what I did, can you identify authors and their email emails who have done research on this topic. See, it gives Nasser Ali M. And his email is provided. I can contact him for collaboration and for more details. And SC Cook, okay, his I can get his email ID from this article. That is not a big challenge for me getting email ID. You can look it here. So I will go back here. Okay. See, this is the email ID. And Mumtaz Laser. So these are the some top authors who have published articles in the. So if you want collaborators or if you want any guidance, you can search the authors who have done same research, who have published articles in the same area, okay, to identify the collaborators. Then propose new hypothesis. I can use ChatGPT or any AI tools. Since ChatGPT is well known for all, I use ChatGPT only. What are the hypotheses I can use for my study? Keep maximum five hypotheses. We'll keep it five hypotheses, not more than that. Five hypotheses. When you keep limit, so it will give only the major hypothesis. It will not give some sub hypothesis. Look at here. Hypothesis. Students exposed to moral suasion messaging will demonstrate higher sustainable AI use behavior compared to students in the control conditions. Okay. Very important, derived from normal activation theory. The rationale is given, justification is given why that particular hypothesis. That is very important while writing hypothesis development. In hypothesis development, how you very important, you have to write how you derive that particular hypothesis, okay, justification. So here one paragraph or two paragraph is required for justification. One line is not enough, but simple justification is given. Okay, psychological mechanism and perceived moral obligation to mediate the relationship between moral suasion and sustainable use behavior. Moderation. So I think this is very interesting hypothesis. Okay, I can take this hypothesis, or if you are not satisfied, again you can use the trial and error. You can think a very deep hypothesis, which is very significant hypothesis for your study. You can change. Okay, no need to agree with this. But I think since I have customized this hypothesis, I think it is above average. It is above average. Okay. I don't say that it is best, but it is above average. For normal publication, I think it will be very good. You can take these hypotheses for your paper. So that hypothesis development and you can ask for research design, suggest structure for a research proposal. Very important, normal I do this. The structure of the paper. If you find in the last workshop, I explained as a tip, as a strategy for publication in the